Welcome to the end. An endless void dimension in the Minecraft universe. Where nothing exists into nothingness into nothingness. As I stand here in this abyss, I wonder, how are we going to start this episode? Welcome back, it's Max, and today's project is going to be built out in the end. I want to build out a massive black hole that will encompass our Shulker farm, which we have behind us. Right behind me is my current Shulker farm made by Ending Credits. It's a super powerful farm that's able to pump out Shulker shells like it's no tomorrow. Shulkers have been spawning like crazy outside this farm, and it's getting to a point that it's really difficult to start working on this cyberpunk city that we've been outlining a few episodes back. The first order of business is that I need to take this Shulker farm and plop it somewhere else. And then from there, we can build a massive black hole to start encompassing this cyberpunk city. My vision is that this black hole starts encompassing the entire city as it starts being sucked into the depths of the singularity. But our first line item is to build the Shulker farm again. It took about 35-40 minutes to build it last time, so I don't think it should be too bad. We're gonna need some materials to build this farm, and I think the best thing to do is to hop to the storage room to start collecting materials for the Shulker farm build. Having a multi-item sorter makes collecting resources for a complicated farm such as this a total breeze. All the items are in one place and easy to collect. The only line items that remain are collecting 2 Shulker boxes of my favorite ingredient, scaffolding. So I think it's time to run the bamboo farm and get all the scaffolding we need. Wow, that farm is powerful. With just one run of this bamboo farm, I got more than an inventory's worth and had to burn all of the rest. Although, the farm does need some decoration, so stay tuned for me to turn it into a beautiful organic pond flowing throughout the cathedral. But all the resources have been collected in the Shulker boxes in my ender chest, so off to the end! Building out the Shulker farm in the end was simultaneously easier and harder than I thought it would be. I did have a few scares though, just because I'm building totally over the void. If I fell off or didn't make a correct jump, I thought I would lose everything. Luckily, nothing was lost and I was able to keep all my items in inventory. A few scaffolding blocks fell over, but with a bamboo farm that size, I don't think it'll matter. One of the biggest issues I had with the farm was getting the endermite. It's a really cheeky bugger that every time I threw an ender pearl, it never appeared. I think I used 5 or 6 or 7 stacks of ender pearls only to get 1 endermite, which then fell over the void, so I had to get another 3 or 4 stacks to get the actual endermite in the build. Once I got the endermite all situated, the rest of the build was an absolute breeze. I used the schematic verifier in the end, which seems to say that everything is in place, so I think it's ready for a Shulker, but I'm not ready to add the Shulker just yet to the farm. Once again, this farm is by Ending Credits, a magnificent farm that I would recommend you put in every survival world. Overall, it took me about 2 hours to build, much more than the 30 minutes I thought it would take, but really no skin off my back. Super easy to make, and I had a joy building the farm. Back in game here, and you can see that I really built out the Shulker farm in the void. Can I land it? Can I land it? No! That is because I want a full cyberpunk city with roads and streets and big, beautiful buildings being slowly absorbed by the black hole singularity. And I think compositionally, moving it out into the distance will make it look a little bit better. Although it looks super far away now, I think once we start building out more and more buildings and streets and other things in the city, it will look a little bit closer and start looking a little more like it is a part of the city itself. Right now, I think the city has a lot of really nice buildings, but I want to make a ton more. But before we do that, I do want to head back to the overworld to start working on another project. We're here at the chateau. Well, I'm actually right here. But we're here to work on the wall of the world. Don't you just love the magic of editing with this green pillar? Inside here is the wall of the world where all the viewers write their comments for where they are from, the city or the state. We had 3 new entries into the wall of the world since last episode, and I wanted to add them with one caveat. First, we gotta take down all these shelves. We have Simon from France, and I haven't added my own state flag, Pennsylvania. There was one problem with one of the states that was mentioned in the last episode's comments. Matthew asked for a state flag of Louisiana which contains a beautiful bird right in the center. The problem with this is that after doing some digging, this was the only banner pattern that actually fit the Louisiana state flag. It looks like a little gremlin. But after doing a more deep dive search, I was able to find this banner pattern, which I think is a lot better and more representative of the Louisiana state flag. However, there was a problem. This banner uses more than 7 patterns and is not craftable in survival Minecraft. I like this banner way more, and I think I'm going to use a command to pull this banner into the survival world. So if I press the cheat button, I will get the state flag. And for good measure, I will atone for my sins by having a shulker box with the banner and all the dies, as well as a diamond. I will break the shulker box and I will burn it into an oblivion. Let me know which city and state you're from so I can add you to the Wall of the World. Where am I? Oh, I'm actually back in the cathedral here because I wanted to show you 2 things that I've been working on in the cathedral. I think we may be able to get a much better view of this if we come over here. And this is officially the first completed section of the cathedral, which means I think I deserve a green check mark. I added this circular half dome here using the dark prismarine to outline a lot of these inside triangles, which I think makes it look structurally sound and pretty grand. We built out this landing platform with moss similar to the multi-item sorter over there, and added 2 chests on the side which lead directly into the main water streams that will go and sort everything into the sorting system. This is the bulk storage area where we shulker load all these items. We mainly use these prismarine blues and also the colors of the dark oak wood. I use some copper here for the sides as well as a new block in the palette, Skulk. Since I'm building everything within the bounds of these basalt pillars within the major pillars of the build, this did not specifically line up as I built this area before the pillars, so I needed to extend this area a little bit downward. I came up with this pillar design which uses Skulk in the background and prismarine walls and dark prismarine. I used glow lichen here which added some light to this otherwise dark area, and these bright white iron trapdoors as contrasting blocks. From a distance, it looks very grand and adds those structural elements that Gothic architecture is known for. Now, my only question here, is this too blue? If we start covering all these walls with blue, 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 we're gonna lose some of these contrasts and it might be too overwhelming to have this blue tone everywhere. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for contrasting colors that would work well in this color palette. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is that I finally completed the outside area of the multi-item sorter. Now these pillars are fully integrated with the basalt pillars on the outside, as well as adding upside down stairs to add a little more depth to the build. Overall, I'm really happy with how the progress is going on this major build, and I'm excited to fill up all the walls and all the spaces. But I think it's time to get back to the black hole. I ran into a specific problem that I think I can demonstrate. I have a problem where it's really difficult to build because if you see right here, how big is that? Is that 4x4 blocks? Is that 5x5 blocks? With any other block, I'm really easily able to tell how big and where to place stuff is. But if I'm trying to build a sphere, it's really difficult with black concrete. So I've come up with a marvelous idea that I think will solve this issue. I've spent hundreds of hours figuring out this idea, and please do not make fun of me for when I show it because this is my true artistic expression, and I think it would be extremely difficult to make fun of me for this beautiful piece of art that I'm about to show you guys. This is a texture I made in Photoshop in about 15 seconds that I think will be really easy to differentiate which black concrete blocks go where. It'll be super ugly while I'm building the structure, but it'll make it much easier to actually build the void black hole. And once we remove the texture pack, I think the black hole will look sick. So, with my new black concrete texture in hand, and my shulker boxes of black concrete that we got from the sand duper, I think it's time to head to the end. Just finished half of the black hole sphere here, but I haven't been able to take a look at it just yet. Perfect landing, as always. Let's see, how does this look? Dude, that's looking sick. You can start to see how the city would start getting absolved by this massive black hole looming in the distance, and I think that the scale and size is absolutely perfect. But before we continue making the other half of the black hole, I want to work on a few more wireframes of buildings within the cyberpunk city. However, I think I would like a little real-world inspiration that can help me build out some of these cool, brutalist wireframes. This is the Municipal Services Building in downtown Philadelphia. This 18-story building was built in 1962 and really emphasizes this brutalist architecture that I want in the cyberpunk city. The building has these beautiful load-bearing pillars that are built at 90 degrees, which hold up the building's exterior. These pillars rise the building up and make it seem a little taller and a little more impressive from the ground floor. Kind of the idea that I want in this cyberpunk city. When you're on the ground, I want you to feel low and small. Since these windows jut out just a little bit, it adds a little more depth and character to the building than it just being a flat facade with windows. The windows add vertical and horizontal lines to the building, which really adds to its form and overall structure. One of the things I really like about this building is it has strong vertical elements, which draws my eyes upwards to the top of the building, where there is a blank space with no windows that give my eyes a place to rest and feel like the building is taller than it actually is. Although some people find brutalist architecture painfully disgusting, I find this building absolutely beautiful, imposing, and powerful within the space that it occupies. Although the building is made of one simple color, I'm not sure how I want to do it in the final Minecraft design, as this is just going to be a wireframe. I love this building, and I'm so excited to take its ideas and wireframes and port it into my Minecraft world. And just like that, 2 more wireframes have appeared in the cyberpunk city. This building is heavily inspired by the Municipal Services Building in Philadelphia. These green lines add a lot of vertical height and makes this building feel taller than it actually is. Our eyes wander all the way up these pillars into the dark end sky. Flying over here to our platform to get a little bit better view. This is not smart with only 5 rockets, but yeah, these buildings really take up the skyline. This building looks absolutely massive compared to the other buildings, and this one has a tiered system that I think looks really cool. As you can see that it has these boat-like domes that extend outwards and kind of form a vertical pyramid shape that I thought looked really, really cool. Although these walls are a little bit plain, I think we can add some interesting windows and details to this building later. These areas in between buildings is really what building a city is all about. Having these small little vignette views that you can look up at the tall, massive urban jungle surrounding you. Overall, I'm really liking how the skyline is starting to look, especially when we have some stuff falling into the black hole. So that's what I'm gonna work on. Here we go. Dude, this is looking sick. The way that this ominously appears from the darkness is absolutely amazing, and I'm so happy with the way that this black hole turned out. We also added 4 new buildings here. We have the teal building, which is a pretty simple shape. It's kind of an oval, except it has these indents on the inside, which I think adds a little more character. I also added this gray and orange hourglass looking building, which indents just a little bit to add a little bit of shape. And finally, this star building, which is a little close to the gray building, but I think it turned out really, really well and adds that dense urban design that cyberpunk is known for. But the main event is the collapsing buildings falling into the depths of the black hole. This was designed in World Edit, and then I used the Easy Place feature in Litematica. But imagine there's chunks of rock and debris flying out from every direction of this build, falling into the black hole. I think this really conveys this idea that this black hole is sucking up everything into it. Now that the black hole is done, we have to take down this shulker farm and move some of those pesky shulkers into the shulker farm here so we can start it running again. This should be pretty easy. I'm hoping this is easy, but the first thing we need to do is get a railway all the way to the black hole. This thing is an Enderman trap. There's so many of them and you can't see where they are. You just see their beady little eyes. Rail line is fully powered, so when the shulker drops to repopulate the farm, it should land directly on the rail, as long as I bust out this rail and this copper block. I think it should land directly on the rails. So here goes nothing. Turn the farm on. I then spent the next 5 minutes fighting the shulkers in the farm to figure out why it wasn't working. So I think if I put a rail here, Press this button. A minecart should go up. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, there's a disaster. Ooh, okay, there's a shulker there. Don't freak out, Max. Don't freak out. You're freaking out a little bit. Okay. This is the swoop. This is the swoop. It landed. Ooh, okay, that worked. Going, it's going, it's going. And now it's in. It's in. Hop into free cam mode. And what's happening? He's getting damaged. Hitting him? Was that a dupe? That was a dupe. Oh, we have dupe shulkers. I think it's working. Yeah, and they're dying up here. Awesome, this is working. Ending credits, what a farm. And with that success, I think it's time to take down the entire shulker farm. That thing got totally removed, although it was kind of a pain in the butt. But it is now fully removed, and this whole area is looking rather magical. But we're missing the piece de resistance to the black hole, the accretion disk. We want debris chaotically swirling around the black hole. So let me fly to the Wither Rose farm so I can start collecting some black dye and chop down some chorus plants for end rods. I really need a more permanent furnace setup. I crafted and collected all the resources that we need for this accretion disk, as well as scaffolding blocks because we're going to be building over the void. It's time to hit time-lapse mode for one last time in this episode and finalize this black hole accretion disk. The worst game of parkour in Minecraft I've ever played. Flying and dipping and weaving throughout all these blocks was really not that fun, but I think the end result speaks for itself. The way that the rings are just like off angle and encircle the entire black hole really makes this thing have an intense pop in the city. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I think this is an unbelievable addition to the cyberpunk city. But just like the heat death of the universe, everything has to come to an end. This has been a whirlwind of an episode working on the black hole and the shulker farm and all the other buildings that will surround the cyberpunk city. I just want to thank you guys for sticking it out to the end. I know these episodes are a little long and few and far between, but they take a lot of time and effort for me to make on my end, and I want to bring you guys the best Minecraft content that I can possibly make. So if you're feeling generous, please hit the like button and subscribe so you can let the algorithm know that you appreciate my hard work. Let me know what you want to see me work on in this world. I know we have a lot of projects going on, but I think with that, I'm going to call it an episode. I want to thank everyone for being here. My name is Max. I'll see you guys later. Bye!